Hi everyone, and welcome to Screen Dance International Project Michigan. I'm Joanna McNamara, curator and founder of SDI, and thank you for tuning in. Screen Dance International is proud to be hosting the first annual screening of dance films made exclusively by Michigan filmmakers. On this program, you're going to see the works of seasoned professionals such as Peter Sparling, Natasha Besti, Christy Faulkner, Marcus White, alongside works created by new and upcoming filmmakers. This screening is dedicated to Marcus White, who was a vital presence in the Detroit dance scene and who passed away on May 14 at the age of 31. Marcus actually directed the first film festival that was part of Detroit Dance City Festival. In 2016, Marcus and I co-founded Screen Dance Now, shortly before he was hired as an assistant professor at the Arizona State University Institute of Art and Design. Marcus was a dancer, a choreographer, filmmaker, entrepreneur. He was a designer, and he was also a brilliant and creative thinker. Marcus had an amazing capacity for bringing people together. He would often say it's important to hold space for other people. You're going to have an opportunity to see one of Marcus's works on this screening. It's titled Second Morning, and it's very, very timely. This dance film was made as part of Moving 24 Frames Per Second, which was a weekend dance film challenge event that Marcus co-founded with his colleague and friend Carlos Fun. So Carlos and Marcus would bring choreographers and dancers and filmmakers together for a weekend. They would give us two words, I remember that one year I got the word cake and lock, and then the objective was that we went out as a new team, people we had never worked with before, and made a dance film in 48 hours. You're also going to see a dance film that was made by one of these teams, by Natasha Bestie and Christy Faulkner. It's titled Party of One, and it actually won the Audience Choice Award that year. Please stay tuned after this screening for a question and answer session with the filmmakers. You can join us by going to Art Lab J YouTube channel and signing on. There will be additional tributes to Marcus's life during the closing ceremony at 7 p.m. You can get onto that by, again, going to Art Lab J YouTube channel and signing on. Before I close, I want to thank our talented administrative assistant and designer, Bree Bird de Oliveira. Thank you so much, Bree, for all you've done the past year. A big shout out to Casey Sagan and to the staff at the Detroit Institute of Arts. I want to thank the judges. We had 5 judges who brought their expertise and their differing perspectives to the selection of these dance films. And last but not least, thank you, Jury Jung. Thank you so much for having the courage and the wherewithal, along with Casey Sagan, to take this entire festival up online this year. I hope you enjoy the screening, and thank you.
Saturday, June 11th at 8:04 p.m.
Hey, I saw that I got a missed call from you earlier, so I'm calling you back. I wanted to find out how your shows went, and say hello, and wanted to see if you wanted to check with us time. And that subtle song is stuck in my head when I wake up every morning, and I have not been able to find out what it is, but I will let you know if that changes. I love you, talk to you.
Displaced.
Mitsitsi.
Movimiento.
Inmigración.
Movement. In between.
Malo.
Remover.
Espacio.
Hareket.
Kunyumba.
Nadovil.
Instabilidad.
Sınırlar.
Colaboración.
Bailar.
Resistir.
Removal.
Home.
I moved from here and there, but I didn't have time to accommodate to where I am.
When we move, I understand we do leave a piece of us.
I don't have that sense of belonging because all the cultural reference, all the childhood memories are somewhere else.
But being in a different country makes me question myself of who really I am. It brings to light my weaknesses and my strengths. And so it becomes this experience where it's just really broadening who you are, your identity, and you just become richer, and you hope that the soil that your roots are in is also getting a little bit richer by you being there.
Yo soy un emigrante que vine a este país con un sueño americano, como cualquier inmigrante saliendo de su país para buscar una vida mejor.
Immigrants have been using the slogan, "We are here because you were there," since the 1960s. And sometimes that can be because you were there and you decimated our forests, or you broke down our systems of civil government, and so we have become refugees and we are here. And sometimes we are here because the language that you taught to us is so beautiful, or the movies that you have spread across the world. Like Hollywood is a huge, has huge cultural capital all over the world, and so the movies that you make were so charming that we decided to come here to experience it for ourselves.
Salimos desplazados de ese lugar por obtener lo que es en el país un conflicto militar contra la Fuerza Armada y la guerrilla, y de lo cual se fundó en el lugar donde nosotros, yo y mis hermanos, mis padres, vivíamos. Salimos de ese lugar abandonando todo, salimos desplazados sin nada.
I feel like a banyan tree that I can still kind of feel roots growing out of my hands or my eyes or my memories or whatever, and finding their way into different places in the world.
Like the word alien, word was used before, like to describe certain family members or on me in certain occasions.
Well, the funny thing about roots, I think, is that you don't really think about them too much until you're not there where they are.
I consider home where I am with my family.
Yes, I'll be a citizen here in the United States, but this is not home.
So I hope one day I will be able to return my country safe and secure.
When I describe home, I feel like a safe place, a place where, I could just be me.
I'm a woman, I'm a dancer, I'm a student, I'm a sister, daughter, aunt, I'm a granddaughter, I am a friend, I am an American, I am passionate, I am forgiving, I'm angry, confused, I am open, I am willing, I am wanting change.
have no other women, don't want no other women. But you just seem to be like, you gotta have every man in town. Out of town too, I guess, cause I be at work, I don't know what's going on. But I still love you and I want you. I mean, let's just give it a real try. Damn, I'm lonely, Mom. I've been working 16, 18 hours a day. And I come home and just watch television and be lonely. I'm so lonely. I get lonely for you, baby. Yes, it's you I want.
Βλέπω εικόνες και όλες μοιάζουν. Βλέπω και δεν μπορώ να εστιάσω. Ό,τι αμυδρά ξεχωρίζει είναι γνώριμο, αλλά όχι οικείο.
Αλλάζω όλα όσα είδα, για αυτά που δεν μπορώ να δω.
Δέσε μου τα μάτια, μήπως δω. Έπρεπε απλά να βρω εκείνο το ρυθμό που το μέτρο ξεκινά με παύση, γιατί έχει τόσα να διηγηθεί. Άκουσα τις φωνές έξω από εμένα και πώς αυτές συνομιλούν με τις δικές μου. Ύστερα τις σώπασα για να με αφουγκραστώ. Έπρεπε απλά να κάνω παύση για να ακούσω τι έχω να τους πω.
Έπρεπε να κάνω παύση. Όλα φέκουν, σχεδόν εκτυφλωτικά, έτσι που σε ζαλίζουν καθώς γυρνάς τα μάτια. Όλα τα φώτα αντανακλούν πάνω μου, αλλά πουθενά δεν αντανακλώ εγώ. Ψάχνω. Ούτε μία σκιά να ξεκουραστώ από το φως το εκτυφλωτικό που καρφώνει ευθεία τα μάτια μου.
Κάθε λεπτομέρεια που νόμιζα πως ξεχώριζα χάνεται πια. Ούτε μορφές, ούτε εικόνες, ούτε καν χρώματα. Οι μυρωδιές ζωγράφισαν στη μνήμη μου τις στιγμές που πέρασαν και μου δώσαν μια ιδέα ότι κι αυτές που θα έρθουν μπορούν να είναι γεμάτες νότες από αρώματα που μελωδικά θα μου ψιθυρίζουν όταν αμφιβάλλω ότι τις έζησα. Βλέπω μόνο φως, ούτε μια σκιά, ούτε λίγο σκοτάδι. Απέραντο φως μόνο, που καίει τα μάτια. Φως.
Όλο κάποια λεπτομέρεια ξεχωρίζει, αλλά πάλι χάνεται στον όχλο της επανάληψης.
Ενέπνευσα βαθιά με όλο μου το σώμα. Πού είναι οι σκιές και τα σκοτάδια?
Κινήθηκα σε αυτά, έτσι που εγώ μεγάλωνα και αυτά μίκραναν. Και από εκεί που εγώ χανόμουν, στις κορυφές και τα βάθη τους, Με ανάγκασαν να κινηθώ, αλλά δεν παρασύρθηκα κατρακυλώντας. Γλίστρισα μέσα από τις σκέψεις για να βουτήξω στο πρώτο αυτό συναίσθημα που μόνο εδώ το φέρνει η μνήμη, όσο κι αν κυνηγηθεί. Επιτέλους, γίναμε ένα. Τίποτα ξενηρικό, τίποτα ανάμεσα σε μένα και σε εκείνη. Το σώμα μου. Δεν βλέπω λεπτομέρειες, αλλά βλέπω μια ολότητα. Δεν μου λείπει τίποτα, καθώς αγκαλιάζω με όλο μου το σώμα τη φύση. Υψώνονται μπροστά μου, σχηματίζονται από τα κύματα των δακρύων μου και τους ανέμους των αναστεναγμών μου, σκληρά και αμήλικτα, με σμιλευμένες πάνω τις σκέψεις που δεν μπορώ να αρθρώσω ή ακόμα να αναγνωρίσω. Άρχισα να βυθίζομαι. Κάθε βήμα που με έφερνε πιο μέσα στη θάλασσα.
Μύριζε κάθε σπιθαμή του κορμιού μου, σαν να μην είμαι τίποτα, μα μου έδινε χώρο να γίνω ό,τι θέλω, ανολοκλήρωτη για πάντα, αλλά ακέραιη. Με κάθε μου βήμα, το νερό χόρευε γύρω μου και πίσω μου. Οι αφροί ξέβραζαν κάθε δανεική ιδέα που είχα για τον εαυτό μου, κάθε αμφιβολία.
in the middle between birth and death. The put the sentiment ceremonially. I do about things we have words for. Everything appears to be what it seems to be. It is, it is, is it, is it, be to seems it, will be to appears everything. No, it is. No, it is. Yes, it's not. Everything appears to be what it seems to be. It is, it is it, is it, be to seems it, will be to appears everything. I'd rather follow one. I'd rather follow one who whispers nothing but not to follow. Then the many who scream, the only one. One can only ask themselves, hey, whom it got so many times that the only hope is that the question goes away. For a little bit, for a little bit. Someday, brother, mother, father, sister, lover, you're going to get to cliff, man, cliff, man, cliff. Someday gonna have to take a leap. Someday gonna have to take a leap. Someday gonna have to take a leap. I say, take that leap. Make that leap.
Congratulations, filmmakers, and thank you, our audience viewers, for joining us. I'm Joanna McNamara, and I would also like to thank Casey Seguin and Brendan Kerouac, who are working behind the scenes to help get this Zoom going, and here we are. So Michigan Dance Filmmakers, let's start with each one of you giving your name for our viewers and also the title of your dance. So let's start with Kelsey.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Passage, and the title of my film was Prototype.
And Stephanie? Stephanie, you're, oh yeah, there we go.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Slaughter, and the title of my film is Uprooted.
Okay. And Justin, I think you need to unmute. Yep.
Roger. Hi, my name is Justin Alesna, and the film that we did was Second Warning.
And Shannon.
Hi, my name is Shannon White, and the film that I submitted was Hello, Have We Met Yet?
Okay, thank you. So let's start, I would love to start with Justin and hear what it was like. You were the performer dancer in Second Warning with Marcus. And I'm wondering if you would talk about what it was like working with Marcus as the director of that film.
For that film particularly, was, I think, because if you know, that was for the 24 frames per second
Right.
festival, which sometimes can be very hectic,
Right.
because you're trying to figure out your idea. You get 2 words and okay, go. So I think for that film, our words were metal. I think it was just metal, and I can't remember the other word off the top of my head, but
Did you
that's why we
maybe
had all the clanking sounds.
did you maybe have lock as well? I know a couple of us that year got the term lock, and I'm
I think it
thinking
might have been locked. I think it
maybe
might have been locked. Yeah, now that I think about that, because I remember here's a padlock.
right.
That one, but it was I'm not gonna say challenging, but it was very, like, we really did have to communicate. And he and I were really good friends, but we hadn't really seen each other. Like, we'd maybe see each other for, a few days out of the year, and then, okay, we go months, and then, oh, hey, what's up? Where are you? You're here? Hi. But working on him with that, it was very, very experimental of like, okay, what do we want to say? What are we trying to say? What can we say in 48 hours to do this? And I think we really wanted to play or really bring light to the idea of where the black male body at that time is allowed to be. If I just in my head, it was really thinking about, he wanted me to really just play. It was just very much, let's not think about choreography. Don't think about this as a concert. I just want you to play. And I thought that was really interesting. Just the idea of having this, especially at the time, this, big burly body, kind of just having that idea of the mind of a child, and like, this is my playground. It's a parking lot with, barbed wire and broken glass and a
Right.
building that says you can't play here. So it was fun. To be quite honest, it was fun. A little scary at times, because I'm like, you really want me to dance on glass? But we made it work. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, you had those shoes on too.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And then I realized, like, I was talking to him later about it, and he was like, you decided to dance on the glass. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
And it's such a timely dance film for, today's everything that's going on in the world. And yeah. So another really timely work, thank you, Justin. Another timely work is Stephanie Slaughter's, which Uprooted, about immigration. And Stephanie, it's also a large collaborative work. And would you talk a bit about the collaboration process with that?
Sure. It was collaborative on multiple levels. So my colleague Rosalie Kantz and I collaborated in terms of the concept and the idea. She began with a concept that started with thinking about instability of DACA several years ago, when the Trump administration first announced they were going to end the program, and she was thinking a lot about that. And as we built the concept together and brought in students and asked for students, the dancers were all students at our institution. Not all of them identify as dancers. Not all of them are in the dance program. One student was in my Latin American theater class, and another one works with political science and is very active in politics. And so we brought in people from different backgrounds, and they also helped collaborate and ask questions. So the film expanded beyond DACA with one of our students saying, well, there's so many other stories of immigration. What if this is a little bit bigger? What if the voices are more than student voices? What if we brought in some other ways of thinking? And then we thought about bringing in the interviews for the soundtrack that could help represent some of those different relationships with rooting and uprooting and movement from different countries, different ages. And so that became part of it. And Justin mentioned that he was playing, right? That was part of the instruction. And we did a similar thing. We, in some places, gave certain words to our dancers and asked them to play. And then we built different pieces of the choreography where each dancer contributed one of the movements they were playing with in relationship to those words. Or you could see like the human machine at the end, where that was also about playing and thinking through some of these concepts through that kind of relationship. So it became a very collaborative process in terms of the choreography and then also the messaging.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then you were, co-creating this with your colleague too. Yeah. So, okay. So, Amanda, just hi, and thanks for joining us. And I'll get back to you in just a moment. Amanda is the dance filmmaker of, let's see, duet, solo for duet. Yes. So I'll get back to you in just a moment, but I want to go on to Kelsey and Shannon. It seems like you both had very design-oriented dances, but with very different intents, and different themes and ideas. Kelsey, starting with you, would you talk to us about your process and what inspired you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Shannon, I really enjoyed watching yours, and I love playing with projection and light and everything. So I really enjoyed watching your film. It's very cool. I really enjoy the editing process myself. I like some of the film was my own camera work, and it was mixed with another filmmaker of mine, his camera work when I was dancing. And I really like to play inside of editing as like a composition. And the particular film itself was really about looking at like the prototypes of self, like how many versions of self there are. And sometimes those are, like a little inside into one's mind a little bit, like a subconscious version of, a reflection of self. And so that was really the inspiration for all of the play with all of the different bodies and the layering in of different, myself, and then another version of myself in the same space, but kind of mixed with the space. And so that was really the idea, and that I went in with as I went into editing with the different clips. And so I'm moving a little bit in there, but I also have different dancers in there as well that I utilized. So.
And then you were playing around with the idea of, reality versus surrealism, and what is real, what is not, and
I love just playing with different ways of, the real versus surreal, and just playing around with the subconscious. And I'm very inspired by surrealism and the imagery that kind of comes from that time and work, and also the creative processes that went into creating the work, kind of like automatic writing. I play around with like automatic movement, trying to transfer some of those creative processes into movement, and then into creation in a different embodied way. And so I really like to play with that a lot. So that was an inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shannon, do you want to talk about your work and what inspired you, what your process was all about?
Yeah. Kelsey, I also really enjoyed your work. It's cool to hear you talk about like projection as a way of portraying like multiple dimensions and different layers of the self. That's what to me really draws me to projections as well, of just being able to see the layers of people and complexities, and kind of creating like an otherworldly sense. My personal inspiration behind Hello, Have We Met Yet was really COVID inspired, and being young, I guess feeling the collective like yearning for nightlife that's so popular in Detroit, and connecting with the local musicians, and just the unpredictability of being out dancing with other people. To me, movement feels like a universal language. So like going out for a night dancing versus going out for a night out is kind of like a way of tapping into the universal language with people versus having to rely so much on verbal communication. And that's something that I definitely miss, and wanted to challenge myself to portray in a more serious sense of like, how could I satisfy this desire for myself, which then leads to the producing of the film, I guess. I had to film at night in my apartment right here on this wall. This is where it all took place. my projector and my cameras, and I couldn't start filming until like 10:30 because the sun was up. So I kind of got to have my own techno dance parties in here, and play around with the films. And I'm sure my neighbors were like seeing crazy lights flashing, like what's going on in there? But it was fun for me. And then I thought the way that I edited the film could kind of transfer that sensation onto the viewers and allow them to experience a little 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that dance party.
So you were talking about how, COVID has changed things for you and you're moving in your own room. And I'm wondering if as filmmakers or dancers, if any of you others are, kind of changing up how you're thinking about your future with dance film, or if you're, how you're expressing yourself right now, or how you see yourself expressing yourself in the future.
Yeah. I guess personally, I definitely am seeing more of a draw towards film and just how we can continue to bring movement to people while we're all isolated and can't connect. It's definitely been a challenge to like learn how to move in my own space.
Right. Challenges.
Challenge myself that way, but it's also like a lot comes out of it. For example, I don't think if I were like confined in these four walls, I would have thought to project onto this wall. So it opens new windows for me.
So there's definitely a bigger limitation in terms of space, but in terms of your, creativity and projecting and that, yeah, the doors, there are doors opening and possibilities here. Any other thoughts about that? It's also a time to just reflect. And I know people are really busy. We've been, given so much to do right now at home. Well, Amanda, onward to your collaboration. And, that was just so light and lovely. It was like a nice kind of whimsical dance film. And I'm wondering, in terms of the music too, was really interesting. The music with the overlay of the audio sound. And could you talk about that?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little late to the party.
Awesome.
It was really interesting because actually in school right now, so I'm currently in my senior year at Wayne State. And this summer, we have had the opportunity to really branch off and work with the musicians and other people in the little arts community here. And again, with everything being virtual, that was like a huge focus within all of the work that we were producing. And I knew that I had a deep sense of wanting to work with something that was more, I like working with things that are very human and very casual. And like just going back to like aspects of humanity that a lot of people can connect with. And I reached out to like one of the musicians at the school, and he actually said, yeah, I actually have a piece of work that will work perfectly with your idea. And I was like, okay, great. And a lot of the inspiration of the movement and the editing process for me was inspired by the music and also just like the costume choices. And yeah, it just kind of was like a good glue behind everything.
And then did you rehearse in a studio or did you rehearse out in the spaces mostly?
We rehearsed mostly out in the space. Actually, a lot of it was done in the moment. We had ideas and we talked a little bit ahead of time, but then when it came to like finding a spot, we kind of just let the game of chance and like whatever came to mind like flourish in that moment. And it worked out really well. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Do any of you have any other thing you want to add? Any comments or any more discussions about your work? I think we've covered just about everything because I think we don't have any audience questions. So thank you again and congratulations. I'd also like to thank our viewers for joining in. There are going to be additional tributes to Marcus's life in the closing ceremony, which happens at 7 p.m. Shortly, 45 minutes or so. And you can join that by going to Detroit Dance City Festival, the website, and then just scroll down to closing ceremony. And there's a link there that you can click on to, and it'll take you directly there. So please join us for that. And thank you again, filmmakers and viewers. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.